I remember the first time I went to Lily of the Valley. I was filled with so much fear as I had no idea what to expect at an AIDS orphanage. But quickly that fear was replaced by joy as I was surrounded by some of the most beautiful children that I have ever seen. And they had such excitement and anticipation in their eyes. That was the beginning of an incredible journey as I watched as my mom, Sharon Clack, started a 501c3 nonprofit organization named LOVE, which is based in the US but supports 3 orphanages, Lily of the Valley, Ikatelo, and Live in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. That very first day that I went, I had a mission to find a little boy named James. James was the miracle child at Lily. You see, he had been brought there with only 2 weeks to live. Lily had started out as a hospice, a place where children could go and die with dignity and surrounded by people who loved them. But as James received the medication, the nutrition, and the love that he desperately needed, he not only survived, but he began to thrive. And that is what happened for multiple other children, to the point where Lily stopped being a hospice and turned into a children's village. While I was there, I got to watch as James and his friend had good days and bad days. Sometimes they were just filled with so much joy and so much love and excitement running around that village, but other days they had to face the struggles of their past and they had to face the illness that they had. Now, 15 or 16 years later, James is a young adult. He's doing so well, his health is stable, and he's even working in construction and loving life. But for every miracle story of James, there are millions of children who are orphaned and abandoned. And that is why my dream is to see all of our orphanages fully funded, to where the managers and the people on the ground don't have to worry about financial instability. They don't have to worry about putting food on the table for these kids, but instead they can just focus on loving them. And then we can go on to support more and more and more Love villages and more and more and more children. I used to think that the Love organization, while it was amazing and I loved it so much, it really didn't make that much of a difference. How could it? But last year, I was speaking to one of the managers at one of the villages, and he said that literally, if it weren't for the Love organization, they would have had to close their doors. I used to think that the love and the care I have in my heart for my sponsor kids can't really make that big of a difference until I started to see that these children know when they're supported. They know who they are sponsored by. And for a child who has had rejection all of their life, they have faced rejection all of their life, that makes all the difference to know that there's one person across the world who is thinking about them, who is praying for them, and who supports them. My favorite quote is by a man named Jason Russell, who says, "People who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who actually do." So I want to ask you, are you crazy enough? I want to challenge you, be crazy enough. And I want to give you some ways to be crazy. Sponsor a child, become an advocate for love, or the easiest way of all, come to our event. We have one fundraiser event in Southern California each year. Our goal each year is to simply raise enough money to provide food for these children for 1 year. But this year, I'm believing for so much more. I'm believing that God is going to blow us away with everything that is done, because already we have one donor who is committed to match every single dollar that we raise. That means that anything you donate is instantly doubled. And not only would coming to this event mean that you are making a huge difference, but I promise you, you will have so much fun being here. We not only have amazing music, we have silent auction, live auction, we have a delicious dinner, and you will also be surrounded by some of the most generous people that you will ever meet. Just this morning, I was getting my kids ready for the day, and I was almost overcome with emotion as I looked at them and had the thought, what if I weren't here to take care of them? What if I couldn't? What if my husband and my family couldn't? My hope would be that somewhere in the world there would be somebody who would love my kids the way that I love them. Somebody who would be willing to take care of them. And that is exactly what we get to do through the Love organization. We get to walk alongside these kids. We get to send support so that they get their basic needs met, so they get the medication and the food that they desperately need, and so that they can have an education and hope for a brighter future. We get to walk with them through the struggles and the successes of their lives. So I want to encourage you, I want to beg you, go to our website, loveusa.org. If you can come to this event, go and buy a ticket. If you can donate, know that every single dollar is automatically doubled. Or if you're ready to commit to a child, I want to encourage you to go and look at our support page. The Love organization may be small, but we have seen God do big things through us. We may not have a lot, but we've given everything that we have. And I am looking forward to having you be part of our Love family.